Everyone. Vous parlez français?
English.
English toujours? So, today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Canto 9, and this is verse 47 from the 14th chapter. Okay. Now you have it. Oh yeah. It's good?
Yeah.
Tinaya jata yagyesham
Tinaya jata yagyesham
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Urvashilokamanvicham
Urvashilokamanvicham
Sarvadevamayam Harim
Sarvadevamayam Harim
Najayata yagyesham
Dinayajata yagnesham
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Urvashilokamanvicham
Urvashilokamanvicham
Sarvadevamayam Harim
Sarvadevamayam Harim
Najayata yagyesham
Dinayajata yagnesham
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Urvashilokamanvicham
Urvashilokamanvicham
Sarvadevamayam Harim
Sarvadevamayam Harim
Prabhu's please.
Tena yajata yagnesham
Dinayajata yagnesham
Bhagavantam adokshajam
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Urvashilokamavimsham
Urvashilokamanvicham
Sarvadevamayam Harim
Sarvadevamayam Harim
Tenayajata yagyesham
Najayata yagyesham
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Urvashilokamanvicham
Urvashilokamanvicham
Sarvadevamayam Harim
Sarvadevamayam Harim. Want to try?
Yeah.
Yes. Try your best.
Tena jata yajasnesam
Najayata yagyesham
Bhagavatam adhokshajam
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Urvasi lokam anviksham
Urvashilokamanvicham
Sarvadeva mayam harim.
Sarvadevamayam Harim. Vishnavi, you want to try?
Tena yajata yajnesham
Najayata yagyesham
Bhagavatam adokshajam
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Urvashilokam vanchiyam
Urvashilokamanvicham
Sarvadevayam Harim.
Sarvadevamayam Harim. Thank you so much. So, we will read the word for word. Tena,
Tena
for generating such a fire.
for generating such a fire
Ayajata,
Ayajata
he worshipped.
he worshipped
Yagya Isham,
Yagyesham
master or enjoyer of the Yagya.
the master of the joy of the Yagya
Bhagavantam,
Bhagavantam
the supreme personality of Godhead. Adhokshajam,
Adhokshajam
beyond the perception of the senses.
beyond the reception of the senses
Urvashilokam,
Urvashilokam
to the planet where Urvashi was staying. Anvichan,
Anvichan
though desiring to go.
all desire to go
Sarvadevamayam,
Sarvadevamayam
the reservoir of all demigods.
reservoir of all demigods
Harim,
Harim
the supreme personality of Godhead.
the supreme personality of God
Hari. Translation. By His Divine Grace, Bhaktivinoda Ravinda Bhaktivinoda Tasmi Prabhu. By means of that fire, Urava, who desired to go to the planet where Urvasi resided, performed the sacrifice, by which he satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, the enjoyer of the results of sacrifice. Thus, he worshipped the Lord, who is beyond the perception of the senses, and is the reservoir of all the demigods. Purport. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvayagama Eshwaram. Any loka or planet to which one wants to go is the property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the enjoyer of the performance of sacrifice. The purpose of Yaga is to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this age, as we have explained many times, the Yaga or chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the only sacrifice that can satisfy the Supreme Lord. When the Lord is satisfied, one can fulfill any desire, material or spiritual. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 14, also says, Yagyat Bhavanti Parjanya. By offering sacrifices to Lord Vishnu, one can have sufficient rainfall. When there is sufficient rainfall, the earth becomes fit to produce everything. Savakama Dokamai. If one can utilize the land properly, one can get all the necessities of life from the land, including food grains, fruits, flowers, and vegetables. Everything one gets for material wealth is produced from the earth. And therefore it is said, Sarva Kama Duga Mahi. Bhagavatam 1.10.5. Everything is possible by performing yaga. Therefore, although Purava desired something material, he factually performed yaga to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is Adhokshaja, beyond the perception of Purava and everyone else. Consequently, some kind of yaga must be performed to fulfill the desires of the living entity. Yagas can be performed in human society only when society is divided by Varnashram Dharma into 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas. Without such a regulative process, no one can perform yagas. And without the performance of yaga, no material plans can make human society happy at any time. Everyone should therefore be induced to perform yagas. In this age of Kali, the yaga recommended is Sankirtan, the individual or collective chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This will bring the fulfillment of all necessities for human society. Wonderful. Om Agyantinandasya Anandasharakaya Shakshum Militam Yena Tasmei Shurave Namaha Shishetanya Mano Bishtam Stapitam Yena Bhuthare Vayam Rupam Kadamayam Tatatisva Modam Tikam Vandeham Shivru Shivitapadakamanam Shivurun Vaishnavam Shirupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tata Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Namami Hari Priye Amsakatpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Saraswati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it is said in the Bhagavatam, Dharma Zanushtita Pumsam, Jigvakshana Katasuya. Patpadayad Yadiratim, Shramayavaikeva. That whatever you do in this life in terms of Varna in ashram, it is useful as far as it allows you to be more attracted to Krishna. If it does not produce any attraction for Krishna, then you have to consider these endeavors, Shrama, to be useless. So the whole society, the whole Varnashram system is designed to develop in us propensities to worship and love the Lord. We have here a special story. This is the story of Purava. And Purava, he was in all aspects very pious, because he was a great king. He was following the Vedas, performing sacrifices, worshipping the Lord. And in terms of morality, in terms of exemplarity towards his citizens, he was far, far more qualified than nowadays leaders of society. So we would dream of having such a personality. On the other hand, Purava is also human, and he has a weak point. And as far as we are concerned, in humanity, Ishadvesha Samutena Vanva Moena Bharata. We all have desires and we all have repulsion. And the specific weak point of Purava was sexual desire. So Purava, like many leaders in history, fall prey to sex desire. And when he met Urvashi, she was so attractive that the first thing he tells her is, I'm a beautiful man, you are a beautiful woman, so as I'm a king, I can maintain you, let us enjoy sexual life together. And Urvashi says, yes, of course. Why should I refuse? You are a king, your fame has spread all over the three worlds, because Urvashi is belonging to the Devatas kingdom on the heavenly planet. She is celebrated as the most beautiful dancer in the court of Indra. She descended into the earth, and because she was hearing so much of the glories of Purava, she wanted to see. And when she saw Purava, she accepted the proposition gladly. For a time, they enjoyed. But before that, before accepting the hand and the proposition of Purava, Urvashi put two conditions. First, you have to feed me with ghee only. Only preparation made in ghee. Really important in Vedic society. Anything else than ghee is considered low quality, not offerable to the Lord practically. So ghee, really good. And she said as well, I should see you naked only when having sexual intercourse. Otherwise, no, you have to dress properly. But one time, after many nights and many love stories, Indra realized, without Urvashi in my court, all the dancing, all the singing is totally deprived of opulences. I want Urvashi back. So he called some Gandharvas, some celestial personalities to descend on earth and take back Urvashi back to the heavenly kingdom. So when the Gandharvas came in the night, at that moment, Purava and Urvashi were in the bed together, asleep. Purava was naked, and Urvashi was so. And when the Gandharvas came, they took away two lamps. You see what is a lamp?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. There. So those lamps belonged to Urvashi, and they were the favorite of Urvashi. And Urvashi asks to Purava, you always have to protect these two lamps like my sons. So when some noise had been heard in the house and the two lamps were starting to cry, then Urvashi woke up and told her husband, go, my two lambs are crying, someone has introduced into the house, you have to help. So Purava, get out of the bed, take the sword and go and chase the aggressor. And the aggressor were the Gandharvas, missioned by Indra. So they have some special ability, they could fly in the sky. So they started to fly in the sky, and Purava managed to scare them. He was also a great archer. And they dropped the lamp. But because the Gandharvas were special personality, there were always also effulgence. So they start to reveal some effulgence in the darkness of light shining like the moon. Then Purava was seen naked outside. And then meanwhile Urvashi dressed a little and came outside and saw Purava outside naked. Because of the glowing effulgence of the Gandharvas. Really tricky. So Urvashi told, oh, I see. No, my husband has break the promise. I'm leaving. And Urvashi left with the Gandharvas. Purava was devastated, and because of that he was crying. So much so that when he was meditating not on the form of Vishnu, but on the form of overseas. That was his main thing. All the senses of Purava were conquered, including the mind, by the beautiful speech, by the beautiful manners, by the beautiful form of overseas. Therefore, it was very difficult for him to extract her from his mind. He was lamenting, depressed. He was not shining anymore. All his glories vanished. It's a lesson from us that when we are depending too much on the skin relationship, on externals in our relationship, as soon as the skin is distant, then the flesh in our body feels a lot of sorrow. So yesterday, when I was distributing books, I actually met a man who was hearing from the arena, and he met after we finished. And he told me, "That's good what you have done. My wife divorced from me. No, I went to a period where I was drinking alcohol a lot. No, I decided I should stop. And because I'm hearing you, I'm confident I can do it." So we say in the Bhagavatam, so those who are too attached to the skin, the fleshy pleasures, they consider death insignificant. Why? Because they think they can overcome death by the happiness they enjoy in this life. And what kind of happiness can deride even the burden of death? Deha patya kala tradish. All what we build around the house with the wife. So when I'm speaking about the wife, it can be also replaced by vice versa, by the man. All what the wife does with the man. In this case, Purava is enchanted by a woman, but we could say also a woman could be enchanted by the man. And the same will apply, okay? So it's not because I'm speaking of one relation that it cannot apply to the opposite sex as well, okay? So this lesson is for all, not only men, but also women. You can apply. So it says that there we consider wife or husband and all the children, grandchildren, the house, the location, and everything else as Atmasanyaj, our own army. And what this army is standing against? Against all the difficulties of life. And paroxysm of these difficulties is death. So we think that I don't care about death because I can enjoy so much with my household life. So, and we forget about the time passing, and we don't care so much about spirituality. So that's what is happening actually to Purava. Purava is a special type of personality because he is pious enough to worship the Lord, and whatever he desires, he asks first to the Lord. But he is also materially attached. Therefore, he does not approach the Lord for service. He approaches the Lord to get something. So this is commercial trading with the Supreme. So you see, I want to show you one thing on this screen. That according to Bhagavatam, Shri Radha Parishishvara Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mani Shri Nikaisa Shishita Guru Paramparaki. So actually there is two types of household life. Okay? According to the Vedas, you have one type of household life which is called the extreme, is Griha Medi. Griha Medi means those who establish a house, but they are envious of others. So basically it's me against the world, or my senses before everything else, or the happiness of my family first, and I don't consider others' family as part of my brothers, of my team. So like that. Mostly in the world, people are thinking like that. If you are not my skin color, then maybe you are a danger. If you are not belonging to my community, my religion, then you are enemy. You cannot be saved. Or if you are even sometimes even different from me in terms of profession, then we cannot associate together. I'm coming from the city, you're coming from village life. A poor girl, you are not educated. I'm a big man, I'm wealthy, I don't care about you. So many things can divide us. And therefore we don't have compassion to those people. And we don't care about them. So this is Griyamedi. Griyamedi is many times defined in the Bhagavatam. For example, Shota Vyadini Rajendra Niram Santis Ashasha Bashatamat Matadvan Krishu Kriya Meditated. So this verse in the second canto of the Bhagavatam explain the definition of Kriyamedi, that this one is not interested by spiritual life. Because he has so many things else to hear about, to be interested about. So generally the main point of Kriyamedi, they are not so interested about spiritual life. When they hear about that, does not trigger some attraction for them. Because they are too busy, Diva, Shartaya, Rajan, Kutumbaba, Ranava, during the day to maintain their family, to be prosperous, and the night to enjoy at the bed, like that. So their whole life is centered around their own family and the product of their own family. So this is one definition. And another definition of Griyamedi is Yan Metunadi Griyamedi Sukham Itucham. Kandu Yanena Karoyo Ivadukta Dukham. That those who are Griyamedi, they consider happiness in this world to be sexual life. But the problem is that Kandu Tivan Manatsijam Ivadukta Dukham Vichait Hadira. That this sexual pleasure is like an itching sensation. When the more you scratch, the more it aggravates the situation. And therefore, those who are Griyamedi, they are so much attached to this that Vichayita Dira, they cannot have control of the senses. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, yoga means control of the senses. There is no yogi without mastering the senses. If you want to meditate, if you want to think about the Lord, if you want to love Him, you have to also think about Him. And the more you have things to think about, the more you have pleasures around that you want to indulge in, then the more your consciousness is many branched. So it's difficult for you to meditate. Therefore, if you come to ISKCON and you have a lot of material desires, then it will be difficult at first to change the japa and to be focused. Because you consider pleasure to be somewhere else. So this is Griyamedi. But there is also other householders, and they are generally considered to be scrutinized. For example, Purava, in the case of Purava, is fitting in both descriptions. Internally acts like someone who is wanting to have enjoyment, and this is his first consideration. And externally worship the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes Sukritinas as being pious people because they come to me. Even though they ask something from me, I consider them to be pious. And after many births, Aunam Janmananante, Yanavan Mantrapadyate, then they surrender to me. So, externally, Bhaurava is a pious person because whatever he desires, he goes to the Lord. And he approaches the Lord, he approaches the Lord. But also he fits in the description of the Pleiades. Because what happens is that after Urvashi disappeared, he was meditating on her, he was looking, wandering around, searching for her, and one day, 1 year after, he found her at Kurukshetra. And he approached her and he told, "My dear Urvashi, please come back. Since you left me, my life is a disaster. Let us resume our wonderful household life together." And Urvashi told Kaurava, "My dear king, you should not speak like that. This is the words of someone who is a fool. You have been overcome by sexual desires. Your senses are now like foxes. So understand that as long as you don't master your senses, as long as you are overcome by sexual desires, you will never be happy." So Urvashi was trying to help Kaurava to make him conscious, but Kaurava refused. So Urvashi told, "Okay, you worship the Gandharvas and they will help you to obtain me." So Kaurava worshipped, prayed to the Gandharvas and obtained a woman which was resembling exactly like Urvashi. She was called Agnista. And she was very beautiful like Urvashi, but still there were some little minor differences. And that was because of that, he could not really be totally satisfied. So he left Ministry and he decided, "I will do a yagya, a sacrifice for the Lord, and in that yagya I will pray to the Supreme Lord, Bhaktavan Yagya Tapasam, that I want to attain Urvashi, her planet." So by following all the rules and regulations of the sacrifice, Kaurava obtained to satisfy the Lord, and the Lord granted his desire. He could go to Gandharvaloka and be with Urvashi, where she was residing. So it says in the Bhagavad Gita, "Yanti Deka Vrata Devan Piti Yanti Priti Vrata," where whatever person you worship, you will go on his or her planets. So that was the situation of Kaurava. He worshipped the Supreme Lord to obtain, not the Supreme Lord, to not obtain liberation. We're thinking Urvashi is so wonderful, Urvashi is so marvelous, that this is the only thing that counts for me. What to speak the beauty of the Lord? Not interested. What to speak about the glories of the Lord? Not interested. What to speak about serving the Lord? Not interested. What to speak of feeling the pleasure of bhakti? Not interested. I'm using bhakti or whatever sacrifice, whatever is there in the Vedas to get material pleasure. So externally, Kaurava was looking like a pious person, going to the temple, bowing down, saying Hare Krishna, and doing sanskaras, fire sacrifice, but internally his desire was, "Please give me good material life. Let me enjoy this world. Let me be good with my wife. Let's have many children," and so on. So that was basically the psychological condition of a Gryamedi, one who is blind the purpose of the Vedas, the purpose of the sacrifice. Sacrifices are not meant to help us to be nice in this world, so that we stay there. Sacrifices are meant to help us to realize that there is a better world for us to stay. So this story in the Bhagavatam is tells us a wonderful lesson that among humanity, some are religious. Among religious people, some are materialist. Among the religious, a little portion are actually sincere. And those sincere religious person, we have to find and associate with them. Otherwise, if we use the Lord as a vehicle to satisfy, as a medium to gratify our senses, we will stay in the samsara. At the end of life, we will think, actually, I'm fine there. I'm attached to so many things there. Why should I leave? Better I stay there. In the purport, so just 1 second. Here, Kaurava is basically what we call a pious, externally person, a pious Gayamedi. He has the disposition of a Gayamedi and act like a Secretina, like a pious person. Kaurava is like that. He's in the middle. He's not totally in goodness, he's not totally in ignorance, but he's in passion. So, in the purport, Prabhupada says really something remarkable, I think so. Yaga can be performed in human society only when society is divided by Varnashram into 4 Varnashram. I think this is one of the big statements of this purport, which means that if the society is not properly established to be conducive to do yaga, it will be really difficult to perform yaga. For example, yesterday, when we were doing Harinam, then some people came, police, and told us, please move. So it's possible that in future, you may not be able at all to perform Harinam, because the society is not built to be spiritually conscious. And in Bhagavad Gita it is said that when women are polluted, then the whole society is degraded and the environment is becoming hellish. Actually, Varnashram Dharma is meant to protect those who are weaker. It's meant to provide facilities to protect, especially, for example, women. Women from degraded men. It is sad to know that women can be beaten, women can be abused in many ways, and the society needs to protect them. But the society won't be able to protect them in any way if they don't make the men enriched with higher values. Higher values mean what? Means family are not centered around money, sexual pleasure, but service to humanity and love of God. This is the value we have to teach to people. Otherwise, the woman will be exploited, the husband will be not educated, like poor Rava. Rava, he was not so much interested about spiritual life. He was following spiritual life as a protocol, to look good and to give good example. Obviously it's good, but it's not the best. It's not the solution on long term. Because after all, he was only trying to use Urvashi as a sexual machine practically. But he was not interested about her spiritual life. Because Urvashi told, you can have sex with me, but this is not the goal of life. You won't be happy like that. Come on. And Purava was saying, yeah, but you are so beautiful. Let us have more child and more child. So, if the men are not trained, to master their senses. Then when they will get 50 years old, at the time where they should think about really becoming Krishna conscious and renounced, then they will start to do another child. And if they don't do another child, then they may stay always interested by the byproduct of sexual relationship. Children, grandchildren. So it's time consuming when you have to take care of children, and then your children bring their grandchildren, and then you have to be interested with their life. Whatever issue they have, this becomes yours. Whatever success they have, then it's your pride, and so on and so on. It increases basically the false ego and the conditioning of the body. And basically life is going on like that, and you have 70 years old, 75, and you're still caring about, okay, what my grandchildren are gonna do. Will they become lawyer? Will they become doctor? Should I give them some money? And your children are coming to say, hey, can you help me? Can you take care of them, and so on. Basically, you don't have so much time for your own spiritual life. So, if you are worrying so much about your child and grandchildren that you cannot worship the Lord properly, this is your fall down. So sometimes we may think, I'm not so attracted by sexual desires. Yet we can be attracted by the byproduct of sexual desires. And it's even more subtle, it's even more dangerous. Because we don't, it's difficult when you have the responsibility of the child to let go that responsibility at some point when it's finished. And to say to the child, okay, I've raised you, now it's my turn to take care of my spiritual life. I have to go beyond. It's really difficult because the child are demanding, no, you are so nice, you are so good. So one Grihastha told me the secret. He told me, if you want, when you finish to educate your child and you want to be serious about spiritual life, it's good to relocate yourself. So it's good to go relocate yourself in holy places, in association of the devotees, but basically to take some distance from your family and to simplify the commodities. Like this, they may have less possibilities to come to see you, and you may have a better environment to absorb yourself. Yeah, this is really pernicious because actually we tell to people in Vedic society at 50 years old, you have to be renounced or take vanaprastha. That means stop working and go to the forest, meaning relocating yourself. But in this world, in Kali Yuga, in Bhagavatam, it's considered to be really difficult to maintain just a wife and few children. It's so difficult to have money. It's so time consuming. So you won't be able to sustain and to get so many money in your bank account at 50 years old. It's unlikely to happen that you will be able to sustain on the money you have amassed. And it's unlikely that you will do child at 25 years old and stop. Because basically now, child, they take 25 years to raise. Isn't it? So from 25 to 50, you will raise your child, isn't it? Let's say. And then after they have graduated, they can go and be independent. But will you stop to do child at 25? Impossible. You may stop at 40, 50. Therefore, your whole energy, the time where your body is more fit to serve, more fit to learn, more fit to absorb, is used for family life. So this story of Purava is telling you basically, don't wait. Don't wait to prepare the after household life. Prepare yourself. Don't get too attached to household life. Don't, otherwise you will never come back from it. That's basically the trap. And this society is divided in Varnashram Dharma to support those who are taking this decision. If Varnashram Dharma is not there, if the Vedic society does not encourage renunciation, then you are unlikely to detach yourself from family life. Because in this modern society, you live so comfortably, and renunciation is not so encouraged, and there is not so much facilities beyond ISKCON to help you to be renounced and to serve the Lord in association of the devotees. So beyond ISKCON, it's really difficult to take the decision, okay, I'm gonna quit my home and go to a holy place, serve the Lord. It's actually a jump to the unknown. It's actually really fearful. But if you have people and the society who comes regularly to your house and teaching you, you have to renounce at some point, or at least you should tell your children their business is not your business anymore. It's good to make money. It's really good to a certain point to help your child, raise them in a comfortable life. But at some point, they have to take their own decision. They have to drive their own plane. And you have to drive yours. So, yagas can be performed in human society, only when society is divided by Varnashram Dharma. If there is no society supporting Garbhadana Sanskar, supporting renunciation, then all your life you will be basically tempted to fall into the trap of household life and stay there. Or at least, I can conclude on that, if those are in such a situation that their Vyasta life their household life is a good situation for them to grow spiritually, they manage to do that, then Krishna says, Jata Shraddha Matkatasu Nirvina Savakarmasu Vedadu Katmatkam Kaman Shradharu Dhrita Nichaya Tato Bhajata Man Priya Dukodarkamstagariyan. This is a verse from the 11th canto. It's two verses from the 11th canto, and they say, if someone wants to worship me, if someone wants to perform pure bhakti, but sometimes he falls down, then Gharayan, he should be repenting. Let's say I'm a devotee and I marry myself, and I can be also brahmachari, but in this case this is Purava. I marry myself and I'm using much comfort for my pleasure and also the association of my children, my grandchildren. I indulge unnecessarily into material, mundane topics, discussion, and so on. And I'm absorbed in things that are not related much to Krishna consciousness, and I feel my bhakti is not so good at the moment. Then Krishna says, repent, Gharayan. Okay, you are interested by Krishna, you are interested to hear about him, to worship him, to become his devotee, his pure devotee, then if you sometimes fall prey to material desire, indulge in it, repent, and continue to be enthusiastic in your devotion. Dridar Nichaya. So that's the point. So it's not that material life is condemned and the household life is condemned. The point to condemn is that we indulge unnecessarily into material desire without recognizing the danger. That's all. As soon as we recognize the danger of material life, and we are careful, and as soon as we go astray for a moment, we repent, we come back, and we continue our spiritual life with intensity. In this way, we will be able to stay even among wife, children, grandchildren, with a good spiritual life and a good consciousness. It's possible. But we have to know, I have to find an exit if necessary. If my children, my grandchildren are not really conducive to my spiritual, if my wife is not helping, I have to some point when I'm old find an exit and go into association of more elevated person. That's the goal. So that's all for today. If you have any question, then you can ask something. Otherwise, Prasadam is there and it's hot. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada said in the purport of Bhagavad Gita that if you're Grihastha and in family life, if you're Krishna conscious, then you don't need to take sannyas.
Yes.
So can you speak about that?
Krishna says, Yam sannyasimi prabhu, who is the sannyasi is the one who can act in detachment. So if you can act in detachment in your family life, it's really good. And it says, Ya yasya aryadasya brahmansna manasi vida vikeresh vapajrapastasu ajivan makta sauchyate. The one who is liberated is the one who is engaging body, mind and words in every action is remembering Krishna at any moment. So this one is liberated. So yes, there is no need if you have this adhikar to stand among family members and your family members are not diverting you from a spiritual life. But sometimes, like Prabhupada, what he did was really intelligent because his wife and children were not agreeable to spiritual life, were not helping him. When Prabhupada would invite members of the Gaudiya Math in his house, his wife and children would make band apart. And the members of the Gaudiya Math, his God brothers, will ask, why are they not coming? Prabhupada would say they are not favorable. Imagine you invite a devotee into your house and all the family members, they don't want to see your spiritual guest. How will feel the spiritual guest, won't feel desire. So Prabhupada found a solution. He said, I won't diverse, but I will walk from a distance. So he was coming rarely to home. Basically, he was coming to see his wife and children one time every 2 months, something like that. So he was not spending much time. He was providing financial resources by finding a work and working outside, but basically his Griya was like a Brahma person. So he took some distance. So yes, it's possible, but it's really rare to find someone who is Krishna conscious and stay Krishna conscious. So, it's not so easy. So at some point, you do your best. But if you are going old and you have done all your responsibilities and duties regarding the children, then maybe it's good to take some distance. There is no general law, but the the general principle is basically Shramai Vikayagaram. If you see your life, household life doesn't bring you attraction to Krishna, then consider your household life and your whole life to be useless endeavor. It's basically the principle. So, but if you feel that actually I'm well situated, I can do service with my children, I can educate them in spiritual consciousness, we can work together with my wife and use our house to invite people and to preach and use our work to do charity and build something, that's wonderful. That's the best situation. And that's what we should do. But if you can do that, then consider maybe I should change, I should adjust something. Like that. That's good? Okay. Yeah, it's a difficult topic.
And that's something I would like to share maybe. It's from the past times.
Yes.
That's I find it quite funny.
Please tell me.
Because he was on his bed, you say, with Urvashi and
Yes.
the lambs. Then Urvashi spoke some harsh words to
Yes.
Pururava.
Yes.
She says that. Can I read this verse?
Yeah, please.
Because I'm depending on him, the plunderers have deprived me of my two sons, the lambs, and therefore I am now lost. Urvashi speaking. And then she provokes, she uses harsh words towards Pururava. My husband lies down at night in fear, exactly like a woman, although he appears to be a man during the day.
Yeah.
So, sometimes
Yes.
you have a responsibility in family life.
Yes.
I mean, traditionally, as far as I know, traditionally, like, man is responsible
Yes.
for the lady.
Yes.
And it's not easy to be responsible for people, because responsible means that basically,
Your whole life depends. You have to.
yeah,
Yeah. It's them before yourself.
yeah, exactly. And basically you're not free to do. You cannot do what you want.
Exactly. You are. Yeah. You have to stay. So.
And you become like you become dependent, so you can maybe if they're not agreeable, if for example if you're attached, if you are husband and you're attached to your wife on a skin level, then you are not you become like a puppet in your senses, in the end of your senses, and then you cannot, you lose control of your life, and if you lose control of your life, you cannot practice bhakti.
Yeah, that's why there is so much importance of education. It's much importance on spiritual cultivation and knowing what role men and women should have to cooperate agreeably. Nowadays, men are not really spiritually inclined, they don't have much values, and therefore their authority can be discussed. And because they have not really authority, because they don't have ethics in life, then the wife don't want to listen to men, and they become independent, and the child is seeing that my father has no authority, my mother is commanding, and this is a mess, because then the feminine aspect of the mother is going backward, and the strength and the masculine aspect of the man is going backward, because men are not really like to protect people, and if they can't, because they don't have the authority, they cannot be men. And if women cannot be sweet, agreeable, serving, helping, child and husband cannot be pleasing, then the lovely affection of the mother cannot become visible because they have to become the director of the house. Usually it's marvelous for a child to have a sweet and agreeable mother where he can see all the feminine aspect and see the sweetness of a lady. And it's marvelous to see a man who can also direct and take decisions which are sound and based on moral values, ethics. And it gives a good aspect and good balance in life. And when you mix that, you will never be able to give a man the affection of a mother. He will never be able to give a woman the protection and the strength of a man. It's difficult. Men are naturally protective and women are naturally caring. But if we change the position, then we basically let's say nullify our natural quality. So that's why Varnashram is important. Everybody knows this place, and the couple can be a marvelous place where we can raise Krishna conscious children and have realization and cultivate love of God. So that should be ideally like that. Now society is advancing in the wrong direction, and it's difficult to find exemplary husband and exemplary wife. And therefore, everybody is like, I'm not sure, maybe I should wait. Then 35 years old, okay, I find a good one this time. He was really rare, now I marry. And then 40 years old, your first child. And then 65, okay, maybe I should take 65, 70, maybe I should take no retirement. After 70, it doesn't let you so much time to cultivate spiritual life fully, you know. Really difficult. So, if we really are sincere, Krishna will send a good person and he will train us in a good way. If we are really sincere to serve Krishna, Krishna will mind you. If really my desire is to serve Krishna, Krishna will mold my life in such a way that I can progress toward Him. If I need a husband or a good wife in my life, He will send. If I need poverty or wealth, He will send. But I don't care, because my wish is to satisfy the Lord. So in this way we can be happy in any condition. Grihastha life, celibate, poor, wealthy. If my only desire is to serve the Lord, then in any situation I'm happy. That's the best situation. That's the situation where I'm always happy. So, but the only price is only the Lord. If I have other desires, then I will start to be distressed. Okay, Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Paramanande.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I hope I wasn't